to the Deucecast Extra. We have made it to the end of season 1 of The Mandalorian, chapter 8, technically. I hope they continue the chapters in season 2. I would assume they are, but there's no episode titles out yet, so that's the one TV missing. We don't have episode titles. But this one's called Redemption.
Yes.
So it's interesting title. I would think that the redemption is for what, like
IG-11?
IG-11, yeah, that's good. I think that too.
That's interesting, yeah.
Because he's redeemed in Mando's eyes.
Yes, yeah. I think that's a good. What's up, Melissa? Thanks for joining. Melissa is always there for us. How's it going?
Didn't he get his signet, or what do they call that?
He did. He got his signet.
Yep. Redemption that he is now. I mean, I don't know.
Could be a lot of redemptions.
Yeah, it could be a lot. I mean, the cool thing about him getting the signet, and I guess chronologically we're jumping forward a little bit in the episode, but
sorry, yeah, we have to do that.
Well, we'll circle back to it. So let's sort of just go from where we were, which is
data download.
Yes, the data pad download. Yeah. So this one was directed, of course, by the Academy Award winner Taika Waititi. Fantastically directed, I must say.
Great.
This episode is the longest of the season. It was 49 minutes, which was really cool. And just like right before we started recording, news broke that episode 1 of season 2 is going to be 52 minutes.
Wow.
So that'll be the longest episode.
Next week, right?
Yeah, next week. I mean, I'm really pumped.
Can't wait.
Yeah, 52 minutes is going to be fantastic. I'm
going to have to take an hour out of my day Friday to watch it, and then maybe go over it again before we do the episode.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got to figure all that out. How we're going to do that. I think we'll keep it up on Saturdays, but we'll see how it goes. We had seen those 2 scout troopers basically snatch. Well, they killed Queel, unfortunately.
They took him down,
and they snatched Baby Yoda. And
rest in power, Queel.
Rest in power, exactly.
And you see Taika's fingerprints on this episode immediately.
Yes.
The comedy at the beginning of the episode with Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, and, I just think
Adam
he can't.
Pally.
Pally. Yeah, he can't help himself, really. I mean, you got to infuse. I mean, it's the same thing he did with Ragnarok. I mean, you've got to infuse some comedy. I mean, that's just his style, and I appreciate that. I mean, that way, like you said, it's a Taika Waititi directed episode. Now, it did indicate that Jon Favreau was the sole writer, so I don't know if he got to have input on the little comedy scene, but I'm sure there was some collaboration there.
I think that whole discussion seemed to.
It did feel very much.
It's very Waititi.
Yeah, and
it's so Waititi.
And even
shooting the can.
And then like hitting the blaster, like this is a faulty blaster. It's not our problem. We're not bad shots. It's just the equipment we're using. It's just these horrible old blasters.
They just killed killed an officer. Like, go down there yet? I don't. Are you getting the message? I'm getting the message.
Yeah. It was almost like a little too much, but I thought it was good. I thought it worked well. I mean, you could certainly tell Sudeikis and Pally were, I don't know that they were actually in the suit. I think that it was probably just voiceover.
I think I've heard they weren't.
It's probably ADR'd over,
Yeah, I think a lot of anything, like even the armorer, I mean, I don't think that she was in the suit. I think that was a stunt double. I mean, I think
Pedro Pascal's not in the suit a lot of the time.
Not a lot of the time. He said he's going to be in the suit more in season 2, but it's not
any longer.
But not any longer. So IG-11 basically shows up and just takes care of business. I mean, he takes those 2 guys out pretty quickly in gruesome fashion, may I say. I mean, he broke that guy so badly that it bent the speeder bike. I mean, that was like some aggressive droid action there, which this episode was great.
You had a bunch Yoda just to kind of like, the guy was like, hey, what is that?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah,
that was just to build the animosity against them, so that when IG-88 just
and Baby Yoda got his revenge by biting one of them too. So
yes, he did. Yes,
right.
he did.
Ow. Yeah,
he got him good. So so we get that taken care of pretty quickly, and then it kind of jumped right back into the standoff at that point.
Yes.
I mean, and we get some fantastic dialogue from Giancarlo Esposito, like Moff Gideon. Oh,
big,
so good.
He is so calm, but also very creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's great as the villain in that specific role.
Adversary for him here. I mean,
yeah.
And we find out some really good information because this is, the first time that we've heard Din Djarin's name spoken aloud.
He knows all about them.
And well, he reveals
their bios.
He reveals his name, Kara's from Alderaan, and the Night of 1,000 Tears, all in like the exact same expository dump.
Yeah, man, we got Aussie Nate joining us. The ultimate bad guy, Moff Gideon, for sure. Nate. The ultimate bad guy, yeah, definitely. And
revealed that Grief Karga was a former disgraced council, something, I don't know.
I mean, I think he was just kind of alluding to the fact that he sort of was running the city, but not so much anymore since the Empire has showed up. But yeah, I mean, the big thing that I felt like we got some good background on Moff Gideon. Yeah, Moff Gideon also, though, because Din Djarin was like, that has to be Moff Gideon. That's the only way that he would know my name is if he's the only person, because he was part of, I guess. Well, they're not I guess they're calling it the Siege of Mandalore, but I thought the Siege of Mandalore was more during the Clone Wars.
The Great Purge
referencing to, I could be wrong.
Different time frame, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Great Purge is after the.
I mean, is it
the stuff that we see in the Clone Wars animated series?
Does it seem like when the Order 66 comes, they turn, right? So they start purging? That's what I don't know. Really understand, but
yeah. And so, I mean, he mentioned specifically the Night of 1,000 Tears, which is apparently part of a small battle that took place during the Siege of Mandalore. And this guy was the baddest of the bad because he was Imperial intelligence, basically, and those are the really bad guys. Anybody that's Imperial, I think, what did he say? ISS, Imperial Secret Service, I think, is what that is, or something along those lines.
Yeah, and Kara was convinced that he was killed off for war crimes.
Oh yeah, Kara Cynthia Dune.
Yeah,
Kara. Oh yeah, we get her middle name, right?
Yeah, Kara Cynthia Dune of Alderaan. Yeah, exactly. Well, no. That's her full first name is Kara Cynthia. Is her full first name? Oh, ISB. That's right. I'm glad somebody that understands Star Wars is in the chat. Thank you, thank you, Aussie Nate. It's the ISB, Imperial Secret Bad A. I don't know. Bureau. Yeah, probably.
So theoretically, he was supposed to have been executed for war crimes, right? Like a sort of a Nuremberg trial thing, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean,
he escapes.
Yes,
or maybe a live
episode if they did a backstory of like Moff Gideon. Like,
I think that we're going to have to get some of that to explain how he got the Death Saber or the Dark Saber. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Like how that's going to come into play. I mean, and that's one thing that the series has set up is that it's not afraid to have flashback scenes. Because we obviously get quite a bit of that throughout. It's just that one scene,
and you get the payoff of that scene in this episode.
Yes, you do. Yeah, and a really big thing, and I think that they did it intentionally. Obviously, is to show that these particular Mandalorians that were rescuing Din Djarin were Death Watch, which I thought was interesting. Because they sort of did like a close enough on the patch. So,
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, Death Watch. Obviously that was the group that went against the Duchess Satine. She wanted a more peaceful Mandalore, and Death Watch, led by Pre Vizsla, wanted to go back kind of to their warrior ways, as he said in that episode of.
He was the one who had the Darksaber in the Clone Wars. Is that right?
He did, yeah. So
okay,
voiced by Jon Favreau.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
And so there's a lot. I mean, and as that
more research for this one.
the history of the Death Watch goes on, so another major character that is rumored to be in season 2 is Bo-Katan. She was Pre Vizsla's lieutenant, so she was like second in command for a while as part of Death Watch during the Clone Wars, and then she finally got sort of a bad taste in her mouth when Death Watch started to work with Darth Maul. So she didn't really want any part of that, so she separated herself, and she kind of has like her own thing with the Night Owls. That's kind of like her group. So if you see, her signet is a Night Owl, and that's kind of like her whole group that's with her now. But the timing of when Death Watch rescued Din Djarin is interesting to me, because that would have had to have been during some part of the Clone Wars, when Death Watch was still kind of not really the bad guys per se. They were still all part of Mandalore at that point.
So is Death Watch working on other planets? Because they say he's not a Mandalorian, right? So
yeah.
Well, yeah, he wasn't.
Mandalorians. Mandalorian's not a race; it's a creed,
so,
as they say.
Okay, so he could have been on the planet of Mandalore. Wait a minute.
No. The planet that he was rescued from was his home world.
Yes.
They never spell out the name of the home world.
Yeah, it's not Navarro.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, the
world of
Death Watch, is doing good deeds at this point in the timeline. So this is obviously before Darth Maul comes into play.
Okay.
It's before the syndicants sort of get involved.
Wait a minute, before Darth Maul?
Yeah, because why would they be doing good deeds when they're working with Darth Maul at that point? I mean, I think Death Watch would have not really cared about a planet getting taken control over from the Separatists. I mean, I don't know. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but the Separatists, they really shouldn't care too much about them other than their...
Well, I guess that makes sense, because...
Yeah. I mean, so anyways...
The Purge was way before, like, Return of the Jedi, and...
yeah, it means it was during, I guess... yeah, that's where I would guess.
Somewhere between the Clone Wars and a new...
Well, it was all Clone War stuff. It's all Clone Wars. Yeah, it's all during the Clone War stuff. Now...
Okay, but before even... Okay. Yeah.
Now there is a point though in history that we have not seen yet, though, this other battle where the Empire just goes in and completely destroys Mandalore. That is what Moff Gideon was involved in, and that is specifically the Night of 1,000 Tears.
Yes.
So in Rebels, let's go back for a minute. In Rebels, did they ever mention anything about a Great Purge, or
no? Because Rebels is just 5 years before A New Hope. So no, I mean, they're not really. That's just the purpose of Rebels is just to explain the.
I'm not following some timeline issues here. Then, so
yeah,
I think there's some. They're gonna have to retcon some stuff to figure this out.
No, I think
maybe
it's
not.
Okay. I think.
By the way,
see.
I'm gonna have some rhetoric about this.
Maybe the DK book will explain it.
Yeah.
I'll go get my DK. I'll buy the new version of the DK book.
So some Mandalorian stuff that did happen during Rebels, though, is that Sabine was given the Darksaber. So she sort of takes control of Mandalore and then relinquishes that control to Bo-Katan. She gives the Darksaber to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan sort of becomes the head of the Mandalorians at that point. And then I'm thinking the Empire comes in, does this Night of 1,000 Tears thing, and that's how Moff Gideon gets the Darksaber.
So it's going to be running parallel somewhere in the middle.
Could be during the original trilogy. Could be right before the original. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of timeline that they can just have overlap if they want to.
Do you think the wrestling chick is going to be Sabine?
I don't know. There's a lot of theories that could be her, but there's also theories that she could be a night witch or whatever. No, she's not a Strandcast. I don't ever want to hear that word again. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you got to define it for us. You got to find out the answers.
No, I mean,
he's got the answer.
I've got some information on Strandcast. I've got this my DK reference book here. The Star Wars book that our friend Dan Z was one of the co-writers.
Nate, yeah, 19 years before the Battle of Yavin, right?
19 BBY.
Yeah. Okay.
That's before the Battle of Yavin, right?
Interesting.
So wait, so that's even before Rebels timeline then?
Yeah, because Rebels is like what?
I think they've messed up a little bit on that, just because, not totally, but
yeah, I mean,
could have thought Sabine or Bo-Katan.
That could make sense. I mean, because Mandalore. I mean, during Rebels, Mandalore was sort of splintered quite a bit. Like the Mandalorians that were around during when Rebels was taking place were sort of barely hanging on. I mean, they were barely keeping things together. So maybe okay. Well, that makes sense. That's interesting. So I mean, sort of back to the episode here, I guess. It's what we want to kind of.
We got to get back to it.
But they're pinned down in this. They're pinned down in the cantina.
Yeah, and they start. Yeah. Yeah, he starts trying to talk to Grief.
Mm-hmm.
And Grief asks him if he could trust him, and he says, "If you're asking me if you can trust me, you cannot."
Great lines. Great line. All that stuff is so fantastic. Yeah, all that stuff is so fantastic. I love all of that dialogue.
If he's already killing his own
his own officers.
Which I think that seemed a little, I know that was Taika's little funny part, but I was like, the idea that Grief's just like, I mean, not Grief, but Moff is just like killing these random folks. I mean,
Gideon doesn't care about anybody. I mean,
he seems kind of crazy though. That's, I think, supposed to be what they're trying to drive home with that.
Yeah,
I think so too. I mean, or just unhinged to the point where he's got one thing in mind, which is to get the child, and he'll do whatever it takes to get the child. He doesn't really care if it involves having to kill stormtroopers, if it involves having to kill anybody. He'll do whatever it takes. I mean, that's kind of like, what we want, what we should gather from that.
I think it would have been nice if they'd shown a scene where they're like carrying out a body, like he's just executed. You know what I mean? Like a little tighter. Because it seemed like that was a non sequitur from.
I can see what you're talking about.
But it would have been nice to have a little tie into that if he's that ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's one little pet. Grief.
Yeah,
about the grief.
Grief.
I think that the stuff that Dinjarin was saying though kind of is what we learn about Moff Gideon sort of indicates to us how crazy the guy is, how he was supposed to have been, executed for war crimes. I mean, this is not a good dude by any account.
Oh, no. He's like, No,
and he has no honor. I wouldn't say that he would have any honor whatsoever. I mean, and he even says that himself, basically, telling Grief Cargo is like,
he would have killed him immediately.
Yeah. If they came out surrendered, exactly. He would have gotten them to get the child and then killed them after they got him the child.
Oh, easily, yeah. It wouldn't have been any question at all.
Which I didn't really understand. Okay, so I'm gonna be like our friend Rhett and be a little bit
nitpicky. Yeah.
I didn't. So they brought this gun and they assembled it, and then he goes, "I'm going to give you until nightfall," and I was like,
"Yeah."
I think he would have just said.
It's classic villain. It's classic villain stuff. It's very tropey.
I mean, I guess he doesn't want to start shooting and kill the child. I guess that's part of it because he doesn't.
Sure.
But I also feel like he knows that they don't have the child. So.
Yeah, I was under the impression
he doesn't.
I was under the impression that he knew they didn't have the child.
Yeah.
So,
but he still needs them. I think he still needs them to get the child, though, is what he's thinking, because his officers haven't come back. His scout troopers haven't come back, and IG just took all their stuff.
There's some timeline stuff going there, but the IG-11, who is pretty much the hero of this episode in general, he shows up and lays waste to pretty much everybody, but was enough of a distraction to allow the other three to come out and join the fight.
Well, two of them, because Kara stays inside and Gatling gun across the kind of barrier, and the Death Troopers come in. But that scene where IG comes in, just starts blasting everybody, and then Mando comes out and just starts kicking butt. That is an awesome directed sequence by Taika.
Oh yeah, and that was the if you watched the Gallery, the Disney's The Gallery, The Mandalorian. If you watched that little documentary series that they did, all of those extras in that particular scene were just the 501st, like local 501st guys.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
This wasn't. I mean, I don't know.
That was actually released. I think some article was released when that episode came out saying it was a bunch of 501st people, which is awesome.
I love that for them. I mean, that's pretty cool that a group of fans basically.
You probably saw some of them at Celebration.
Probably, yeah. It gets to be in a really cool scene like that. I mean, I'm very jealous of that, but they needed a lot of extras.
Yeah, I love how IG would like reverse. You know, he had the child in the front. His body would turn around
He'd flip his chest plate, essentially, kind of.
He's just wearing out that town as he comes in.
Oh, I mean, and he was taking a beating too. I mean, he was getting shot up pretty good.
One of the scenes, he was kind of walking a little funky.
Oh
at
yeah,
one point.
That's right.
I mean, he fell at one point and had to protect Baby Yoda, and
Mando and Grief come out, and
so they end up, I mean, having to kind of retreat back into the cantina though.
Yeah, because the web gun gets blown up and Mando gets injured.
Right.
Mando gets
thrown back. Right. I didn't.
The E-web gun. Very very scary at that point because we don't know what's going on with Mando. I mean, obviously he's not going to get killed or anything, but he's in dire straits at that point.
They're sure trying to make you feel like he is.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. And if Pedro Pascal had been giving them many problems at that point, they might have killed him off. Who knows? Well,
and they were trying to
Yoda season 2.
Yeah,
they were trying to get through that grade into the sewers too, and they couldn't do it. Right? They were shooting.
IG is the one who was able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, IG was able to get it in there, and Kara wanted to take off Mando's helmet. He explains, yet again, he cannot take the helmet off.
Yeah.
IG. So I was trying to remember. The guy with the flamethrower comes walking in, and he's like, "This guy, here I am, the red
incinerator." Yeah, incinerator trooper. Yeah.
And then Baby Yoda explodes him.
He does the hand thing. He does the funny hand thing.
Right. And then I thought IG.
He stops the fire. And then pushes it back, I think, and it explodes his tank.
Yeah, he pushes the fire back with the force and blows the incinerator trooper out of the cantina, basically.
Is IG in? I can't remember. So is IG in or out at that point?
He's in there because he's the one. Yeah, he's already in there.
He's just finishing up the grate.
Yeah,
he got working on the grate, and then that's when dude shows up, and then IG's like, and then that great scene with him and Din Djarin.
Yeah. Where he's saying, "I'm not a living
object,"
or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not a living object. I can take your helmet off. Don't worry about it. And he has the back to spray.
IG found a loophole in the
exactly.
creed.
Exactly.
Found
a loophole in the creed, which is important.
Okay, my other nitpick is I wanted the Death Troopers to be a little bit more than just the usual bad shooting. I wanted more with the Death Troopers, like to show that they're a little bit more. I still feel like there's this.
I get that.
Hey, we're all shooting and everything. I mean, it's. I don't know. I just wanted them to be a little more competent than the regular stormtrooper, and I felt like
I don't know. I mean, I think that they kind of
Mando had a pretty big struggle with them, though.
Yeah, it's assumed that they kind of are. I mean, that's obviously not the first time we had seen the Death Troopers. We saw them during Rogue One or whatever. So, I mean, we're aware of how menacing they are. So, I think that they're a little. I think it's understood that they're a little bit more menacing than a regular stormtrooper. They at least have that really cool muffled voice when they're talking, and it sounds like almost droid-like when they're talking.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought that it's interesting.
So we get down in the sewers. Is that where we are?
Well, I mean,
back to spray, and
he uses the back to spray. Says he's going to be fine in an hour.
Tells him he's got an issue with the central processing unit.
Yeah, he tries to tell him that it was a joke. I was like, I was trying to make light of the situation, basically, because I thought it would make.
It's called a joke.
Yeah, I thought it would make you feel better.
got a joke.
Oh wow! I don't usually show puns like this, but Melissa, I'll show your pun. It was great.
It wasn't great.
So
I think they could have had a better, like if you look at the painting of when they took the helmet off, I feel like they had Pedro at a really awful angle. Like he just looked bloated and terrible because he was like,
well, which worked.
Yeah, he looks a little weird. Yeah,
it worked though. It worked for that scene. He's not supposed to be on his deathbed.
I felt bad that was like his one scene, and he was like, I don't know. He looked like the old Anakin in Return of the Jedi, just kind of sweaty and bloated. But
I liked it.
He had helmet hair. That was kind of cool.
I was with it. I mean, he was like blood all over him. I mean, I was like,
But as far as that, I was just like, if you look at the painting, he's sitting up more, and he's kind of like up against it was like a little more regal, I thought.
You're talking about the concept art at the end? Yeah.
Art, he was up a little bit more. I don't know. It was just a weird camera angle on him that wasn't flattering because it made him look like probably heavier than he actually is, but that's fine.
Well, I mean, that's Taika just really caring about blocking for IG-88 or IG-11. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was obsessed with IG.
He voiced that character, so he's just.
I'm going to make him the hero.
He wants to make him the hero of the episode. Exactly.
Well, I guess Favreau wrote it, though. So.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, they get down into the sewers, which is where this particular clan of the Mandalorians were hanging out, and
dead, right?
Well, I mean.
It's a lot dead, but
a lot dead. I mean, the armorer was not sure. You know, she said maybe some got off world, but she wasn't sure.
She said, I think she did say some of them escaped, and some of them might be off world. Yeah. So not everyone died, but a lot. Yeah, there were a lot of helmets there.
I thought it was weird though that she's just down there and I'm just doing my armorer thing. Nobody's bothering me.
She's got to give him the signet for the plot. You know.
Well, I mean,
it was just. There was a big stack of dead, like leftover armor. But hey,
based on the way she took on those stormtroopers, she may have been down there battling.
She bad.
So I mean, I would venture to assume that each clan has somebody like the armorer that does all of their welding and creation of the armor, and so I mean, her first priority is maintaining the ability for them to continue to create this armor. So she has to recycle.
Maybe that big stack of armor is what she was in charge of.
Well, she was melting it. I mean, she was melting it all. I mean, and so
but that makes total sense. Yeah.
I mean, her one goal is to make sure that they can continue that, and this is generally speaking, you would think special kind of metal that they're using. I mean, this is not necessarily Beskar. I don't think all of them had Beskar, but maybe.
That was pretty clear because they were kind of jealous of his Beskar.
Yes, they were.
Favreau's character was, I think.
Yeah, he was. He was very jealous of it. So, I mean, we get some cool dialogue there that I think that was kind of important. I mean, this is where she is really explaining to him about Mandalore the Great and the battles that he had with the Jedi, with the sorcerers. She was basically saying, look, you're going to have to reunite this child with its own kind.
The sorcerer.
And then in that same Jedi. She calls a race of enemy sorcerers.
How did she make the signet so quickly?
I mean, she's just good at her job.
Yeah, she's done it so many times, you know.
She's just, I mean, she's a pro, Nate. I mean, that's all.
Like the kiosk in the mall. She just got a bunch of little signets.
Yeah, she's already made it. She just pulls it out.
It's like the printing. It's like a printing press. Like back in the old day, they got all the things ready to go. She's like, okay, he took on a Mudhorn. I'm going to give him the Mudhorn signet. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's like finding your name at the beach where they have all your little tchotchkes hanging down. Oh, there's I've never found my name because it's wrong. It's the Mudhorn. Here we go.
But man, I mean, I think the
clan of two, as she says when she.
I mean, even before that, she's like, "This is a foundling now.
Yes.
You're this foundling's father." Is the way that their, I mean, I guess their creed works.
Until he gets it back to his people.
Until he can get it back to his own kind. But I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Like this, whether you like it or not.
His mission.
I mean,
really.
whether you like it or not, you're You're now a clan of 2, the Mudhorn clan, basically, and you are the father of this child until you can get it back to its own kind. So that's a big deal to him. I mean, because that I would think to a Mandalorian really shows the weight of what he has to do at this point. He has to protect this child. He has to protect this child with his life and get this child back to his own kind, which, a lot of people are like, well, that means they're taking him back to a bunch of Yodas. And I'm like, no, I think this is like, get him to
the Jedi.
The Jedi. I think that's my opinion, is get him to the Jedi is how
talking about the sorcerer group called the Jedi. So.
Yeah. She even mentions that. I mean, so I kind of think that that's the way that
they're going to
go. Yep. Reunite the foundling. Yeah, exactly. And
Swallow, who plays the armorer.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she was for sure going to be a British actress, but like if you go like watch her, I'm like, oh, she's an American.
Yeah.
I was so surprised, like how, like I was like, man, she's doing a great British accent. If she's just, because she's doing this voice that's like very, very British, and I was like, oh, she's not even. Like I heard an interview with her, and I was very surprised. Anyway,
so another really cool moment during that whole conversation is when she gives him the jetpack,
yes,
and asks him if he was trained in the Rising Phoenix,
yes,
which I love. I just love all these terms and stuff that they throw in there. I mean, it just builds up such a cool universe to throw all these terms out, and you don't even question it. You're like, that's an awesome thing to say. The Mandalorians that use the jetpacks are trained in the Rising Phoenix. That's bad A.
Do you feel like it's mind controlled or something? The jetpack?
It seemed like she was saying that something to that effect.
You have to be trained to that it'll know you or something.
I think it's just more that she's alluding to the fact that you need to get some flight time so that you'll know what you're doing. And that's all. That's kind of like all I think. She's just.
There was something she said.
No, she's just saying that like in a cool way, but really it's like you need to go train so you can get better at this thing.
How does he turn it on?
He just pushes it, like he connects it and pushes a button and turns the thing on.
He takes it off. I think he does it with his brain. I'm going to be honest.
No, he doesn't. You see him push he pushes. So he doesn't do it with his brain. They're not Jedi.
You can't use this. He's going to get a ticket for not having the flight hours. And then
he said he trained as a kid, though. I mean, he said he trained him as a kid. I mean, he was like, I had a little bit of flight time as a kid, and so he just has to get back into it. It's just, it's like riding a bike, basically.
Get him to the Greek.
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be that's what's a remake of that. Instead of Lone Wolf and the Cub, that's what they adapted this time.
Get him to the Greek. Yeah, exactly.
I like it. So then they get on this river. Are we ready to go to the river? Oh no.
Yeah. Well, we talked about her fight.
She takes out stormtroopers.
Yeah, she takes out 5 really cool. of them, I think.
She puts one of them in the melting pot.
Man.
Oh man, that was
yeah.
And from what I understand, she's back next season. So Emily Swallow, I think, as the armorer, is back next season. So we
that British accent.
Yeah, exactly. So then they do get to the lava boat, the lava river, and they get to this boat.
Okay, so let me stop you here. Okay. So this is one thing with Return of the Jedi. Revenge of the Jedi, or whatever, number 3.
Revenge of the Sith.
So is there metal that can survive lava? Like I just don't know.
Well, you see those ships float over the lava, don't they?
Well, okay, maybe.
They're just sort of, in
our world though, is there metal that
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
I'm not a geologist, bro. I don't know.
These are
I don't know if there's any. Is there anybody watching that happens to be a geologist? Dr. Earl really wants to know if there's a metal
that the degree of Celsius or Fahrenheit that we have here with lava. What's the melting point, or all metals on the Earth?
Look, man. Anyway. It all works out. It all works out fine.
Well, no, never mind. Let me shut up about that.
If it was Beskar, I'd buy it. But
a Beskar boat. Well, it's a lot of Beskar, man.
I bet Beskar would survive lava.
That would take a lot of Beskar.
I think Beskar would be a lot shinier.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll suspend my belief. They've got a lava boat. Okay.
They've got a lava. You have to suspend.
And it's in Revenge of the Sith, so it is kind of like you said, it bothers you, but it's in there. It's been established.
No, it's all over the Sith. I mean, it's all over the scenes.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I let it go, and then it just bothered me this episode. I didn't bother.
If it were floating in the lava, I think I would have a bigger issue. But
if it was sort of like, repulsor lift, like over the lava. No, I like it better. It's a boat in the lava. There's a droid that's driving it. It's awesome.
Oh, speaking of the droid, wow.
Yeah, the R2 unit with the R2
it's
unit
like
with
gondola.
Yeah, it's like a gondola. Exactly.
Yeah, well, to me, it's like the river Styx, or what is that? Where the guy?
Yeah, I very much thought of like going to Hades or whatever. That
very,
kind of
very. Greek mythology.
No, I like that. I mean, that's very cool.
I have no idea if they're thinking about that. But.
So they immediately find out though that there is a full squadron of stormtroopers waiting for them at the opening of the lava river. It's pretty cool. I like that whole. And then, Mando seems really upset that IG-11's gonna have to save the day here. I mean,
hey, buddy.
Hey. Someone barged in my room.
Is that your baby Yoda?
Which one's that?
Lady.
That's Lady. Okay, yeah. What's up, Lady?
Hey, Lady. Hey, Lady. Sorry.
Go with Dad.
So yeah, they have their moment there. The Mando and IG-11. I mean, as much as he throughout the whole season has hated on droids so much, I
love last issue when they said, "You hate droids, don't you?" He goes, "No, it's this particular droid."
This particular droid. Yeah,
I think he does have issues with droids, though. I mean, come on.
Oh, he does. He does.
No, he certainly does. But he's come to really like
tungsten metal.
Okay. So somebody Googled it, and it's tungsten metal can handle lava. There you go.
Thank you, Melissa. We thank you for being our.
Its melting point is 6,000. Its melting point is 6,192 Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Wow. That's impressive.
So if tungsten metal can survive that. Wow, okay. All right. I retract my statement.
You should. Yeah, I mean
it's probably
clearly it's based in science.
Titanium.
And titanium can also. Wow. Yeah.
And vibranium. And,
titanium's only 3,000.
Unobtainium. I can definitely do that.
Okay, so they're going. So I can't remember. Doesn't Mando use his vision or something to see those troopers?
To see the troopers, yeah.
He's we're hosed, and
I mean it's over.
Is like stop.
And the R2 unit won't stop.
Yeah, so Kara
off, right?
This episode
shows me gun, man.
Yeah.
Man,
so this episode shows me that she is a person that shoots first and asks questions later.
Yeah.
I mean, she blows the droid's head off because it won't stop. I mean, maybe it's because it can't stop. Why did she feel like she had to blow the droid's? I mean, I'm like,
even when she did that, they continued to move forward.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the droid can't help it.
Drift of the lava, right? It's gonna
be it's the drift of the lava. She destroys the droid, and it's just.
I am created to serve and protect.
If I'm IG-11 and I see somebody like just casually blow this droid's head off, I'm like, I'm not helping these people. I mean, why?
They're droid killers.
They're droid killers.
But his base function is to protect Baby Yoda.
Right. And that's where his goal is. He's got to fulfill the mission.
And Mando even tries to reason with him about that. He's like, look, if your base function is to watch Baby Yoda, then you can't just blow yourself up. I mean, you can't self-destruct.
But then IG counters it with, well, it's the only way we're going to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
Trying to protect him, right?
Well, yeah, he basically said, look,
the scenarios.
Yeah, he calculated the scenario. He's like, look, we're not going to get out of this unless I give you Baby Yoda. I self-destruct, you know.
Yeah, he was like, we're not going to win a firefight, essentially.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I mean,
that would put Baby Yoda in danger.
Walking through
the walking through the lava. I mean, and I was trying to think of like, what?
I guess he's made of tungsten metal too. I mean, who knew?
Yeah.
I mean, apparently
no, because he's melting as he's going. I mean, he's because you can see him lowering as he's like getting even as he gets out into the daylight. He's lowering down, and he's almost just, his upper body's almost all that's left. And then he's like, I have to blow myself up, and then You know, these dumb
callback to the first episode.
Dumb, slow reacting stormtroopers.
A very funny moment in the first episode.
Yeah, that was a funny moment in the first episode.
I must self-destruct. No.
So he takes them all out.
And I think redeems himself in Mando's eyes.
Oh, yeah, I think big time. Well, yes. I mean, I think that even he has redeemed himself even back when he takes Mando's helmet out, the back to spray. I mean, and really he does a lot through the whole episode probably to redeem himself in Mando's eyes. I mean, and so, yeah, I mean, Redemption's a really good title for the episode because, you know, IG-11's doing quite a bit of that. I mean, I even think, you know, from last episode into this episode, Grief Karga has redeemed himself a little bit in Mando's eyes. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of that going on. So it's a good title for the episode. And, you know, we immediately see Moff Gideon with his TIE fighter, you know, coming at him, basically.
What does Grief Karga say?
Do the magic hand thing. My favorite thing is Yoda waves back, but then he goes, I'm out of ideas.
That was great.
Baby Yoda's got a sense of humor. I like it.
By the way, Grief Karga had some good moments when they were in the standoff. He's like over there just
he's taking shots.
I'd be doing the same thing. He's like, we're about to die. I might as well die, you know, happy. I'd be doing the same thing. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I really like Carl Weathers in this role.
Oh yeah, Carl Weathers is fantastic.
Role for him, yeah.
And I'm glad that we're going to get to see more of him, and I'm glad that he gets to direct an episode next season. Really? I think that's really cool that he.
Cara Dune will be back.
Yes, she will.
And handles Mando and just carries him out of there.
And could have her own show.
Possibly. Could ever, yeah. There's all kinds of rumors going around that she might be in a spin-off show.
Everyone's getting a show.
I would be a little, well, I mean, Gina Carano definitely ramped up her acting for these last 2 episodes.
Oh, I think so too.
To carry her own show, that would be.
It's supposed to be her and Bo-Katan is the rumor, but
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So whoever is Bo-Katan.
Well, I think it's.
It'd be Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff.
She voiced Bo-Katan.
Are you a BSG guy back?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Your dad's faithful to the original.
Yes, I've watched the original, some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's mostly known for the revival of Battlestar Galactica. She's been in a lot of other. She was in Longmire. She was in.
They're going to be rebooting BSG again.
Yeah, yet again. Yes. I mean, why not? If
they go back to more traditional classic, I'm all for it.
Well, no, but if you're Universal and you want to continue to make money, of course you're going to reboot it. I mean,
yeah.
They've got to get people to get Peacock subscriptions. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get some people to go on there.
Oh gosh, we'll have to do that.
It's the same thing with CBS All Access. That's why they have all the Star Trek.
The streaming services, I've been saying this for years, it's just becoming cable.
Oh, pretty much.
You're paying pretty much what you're paying when you had cable.
If not more.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if not more. I mean, if you think about it, if you want to watch Star Wars now, any new Star Wars is always going to be on Disney Plus. If you want to watch Star Trek, you're going to have CBS All Access. If you want to watch BSG, you're going to have Peacock. I mean,
if you want to support smaller companies, you have Criterion Channel.
You have Criterion. If you want to watch anything,
I need to get some Criterion. I just realized.
If you want to watch anything DC related, you have to have HBO Max. Yeah. I mean, this is just it's.
If you want to watch anything Dune related, you have to get HBO Max.
That's true. If you want to watch Lord of the Rings, you got to get Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
it's a madness. It's all madness.
Hey, does Garrison know about Mike Tober?
No, he doesn't know the results of Mike Tober. Because that episode has not released yet.
Yeah, let's not put spoilers on the episode, guys.
No, we're not going to put spoilers on that episode released.
I did see that Dave and Mai were ranked the same. They had the same rating on Letterboxd.
That was very intentional because I did not want to give anything away because that was very intentional.
Okay.
So here comes Moff Gideon into TIE Fighter.
Oh yeah, and it was awesome.
I'm trying to get off the spoilers there.
The tangents are what people watch for.
Yes, absolutely.
That's well, I couldn't remember if somebody had a heart out.
If you want some real tangents, you can get Glosson on an episode.
No, we're not going to do that. So, Moff Gideon comes in strong with his TIE fighter. I mean, and basically they're in deep trouble, and until Mando's like, you know what, forget this. He puts on the
Phoenix, baby.
The jetpack.
And he
awesome
mentally
shot of.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not mentally.
It's like
awesome shot of him shooting up past the tie and then coming back down.
It was very
great. It was
very Rocketeer. It was a cool throwback, I think, to Rocketeer because there was a lot of scenes in Rocketeer where he did just that, like really fast shot up. And so I thought it was.
He surprised, clearly surprised Moff Gideon.
Oh yeah, no, Gideon was not expecting that at all.
Like looking around, like what is that? And then he lands on. He hits it with his tow cable, right?
Yeah, he gets up to the pilot, the part of the pilot, the top of the ship.
Melissa, we do not condone pirating, but yes, you're right.
No. I've never done that before.
Never ever have I done that. No, but anyways, so yeah, the really cool thing, and to imagine that, I mean, most of that stuff was visual effects, I'm sure, that they did in post. I mean, that's not stuff that they shot live action or anything.
No, but I mean, I thought
it was some really good. I mean, it was really good for a television show. It looked great.
Yeah, the special effects in this whole entire show has been, I think, really fantastic. It's again, I mentioned a few episodes ago, I think, that one of my apprehensions with the Star Wars show was how are the special effects going to look, because special effects are a huge part of Star Wars, and I think the technology they're using to shoot that stuff also really helps with that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree, and you know, the cool thing with the technology is they're able to do a lot of the post work. They said for season 2 at their houses. I mean, because that's kind of because they were doing a lot of that during the pandemic. So,
and they're just starting to shoot season 3 now.
The software's the same. Yeah, exactly. So you can work on it at home just like you can in the studio.
They're going to be doing it soon, I think. Yeah.
They said like December or January they're going to need to start shooting season 3
pretty soon in terms of media.
Yeah, I mean, because if their goal is to try and release it by October, November of 2021, then they need to start working on it now. They need to.
That's why they started shooting season 2 when season 1 hadn't even, like, maybe an episode or two had come out, but it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very thankful they did now. With
also means they believe in this show.
Oh sure. I mean, I mean, what else are they gonna do? I mean, they're not going to be anything in theaters, so they might as well do
invest in this, because
they might as well invest in this. Yeah,
dude, I think it's going to be there's going to be a huge audience watching this next week when it kicks in. I mean,
I got friends who they didn't watch season 1 at the time it came out, but then they did after the finale, and they're excited for October 30th. I mean, I got all kinds of friends that text me like, "Oh, I just started The Mandalorian. This is awesome."
Yeah, a lot of people didn't really pick up on it at first, but as they're looking for content to watch, they're like, "Oh, you know."
I've never had Disney Plus crash on me, but I wonder if 2 a.m. on Friday morning, the 30th, it's going to crash because so many people are. It very well could happen. I mean,
I will not be there, Mikey. So I'm not there.
I am setting my alarm, and I'm going to watch the 2 a.m.
We expect you to be there, man.
I will. I did it for the first season, so I need to continue.
That's 3 a.m. over here. I gotta, I'll wake up at 8, and we'll see when I can fit it in.
Watch it with your bowl of cereal in the morning.
Yep, maybe.
So he gets on top. I know Gideon's trying to throw him. He gets up and
starts shooting him.
He's trying to shoot through the thing. I just love that kind of stuff. And then he tries to plant the bomb, and it drops one, right? It gets, it's going to happen. And
so he gets 2 of them on there.
The second time he gets 2 on there.
Yes. And then
Gideon gets the alert, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Mando drops off, and boom.
It's amazing that people's ability to survive crashed starships in Star Wars. I mean, he has no problem. He basically just the big reveal obviously at the end is the Darksaber. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
That's the big reveal. There's also some good conversations before then with Cara saying she's going to stay on that planet.
That's right.
And Grief saying that the scum and villainy has been washed away on their planet, which is very funny.
Leave the city again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's going to stay. She's going to become a bounty hunter, right?
Well, I mean, he asks her. I mean, if she'd be interested.
Too up for that, but she might.
Yeah, she might. I mean,
and I love the scene where Baby Yoda looks up at him and is hugging his leg.
He's looking up and hugging his leg.
Right there when he's just like, oh, Baby Yoda, his daddy. He knows his daddy.
That's right. It's it's the father-son relationship there.
And when they're going off, Kara says something about taking care of him, and Grief says, or maybe it'll take care of you.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of happened a lot this season.
That's huge.
Yes.
Statement.
I mean, that's the funny thing.
Season.
That's the funny thing about the Mandalorian is he is not like proficient all the time. I mean, he gets his butt kicked quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, then we see the Jawas pilfering through the wreckage of the TIE fighter, and then the Darksaber cuts, and that for people that watched the Clone Wars and Rebels, that was a huge moment. I mean, that was a really
and everyone else was like, why does that saber look weird?
Right. I mean, that's the thing. You got to watch everything with Star Wars.
The Darksaber.
I'm never a proponent to say that you have to read every book or read every comic, but
yeah, it just becomes too much there. But
if you watch everything, though, I mean that moment when you see that Darksaber is like, what? How does he have the dark? What the heck happened? I thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I mean, there's just so much baggage with that Darksaber. That it really is going to be interesting to see what they do in season 2.
You got to get the backstory on that. They'll definitely go.
They'll need to. I mean, that we need to see how he got the Darksaber from Bo-Katan. I want to see that because I mean and unfortunately, I mean, I wonder if she's dead. I mean, because that's.
But if she's going to be in a show with Kara, I have to imagine if that's the rumor.
That's just a rumor, though. I mean, she could strictly be in this as a flashback scene.
She could be. Maybe she's been captured.
Right. I mean, that could be something. I mean, but he doesn't seem like the type of guy that just captures people.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, so who knows? I mean, it's all speculation at this point. But I mean, to me, if he's got if he's got the Darksaber, that does not necessarily mean good things for who he got the Darksaber from.
Yeah.
So
right, she could just be in that flashback scene, right? And then we see her die or something like that.
Right.
I wonder if we'll have a central flashback scene this season that continues to show a little bit more and then pays off in the last episode.
I did like the way they did that. Sort of like an episode. I think it was almost like the very first episode, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, they showed just that little glimpse. Yeah, they show the glimpse. I mean, and then, like you said, as the season progresses, they show more and more. I like the way they did that.
You see a super battle droid aiming at him at one point in another episode, and then there were all kinds of rumors like someone's going to save him. It's going to be Kenobi.
yeah, exactly.
But then it became the Mandalorian. It became Death Watch. It became Mandalorians, which was cool. Man.
Oh, Melissa's bugging out.
Have a good night, Melissa. Thanks.
Bye.
I'm so ready for season 2. We're gonna do this same type of thing, sort of breaking down. I think we're gonna try and do it on Saturdays, but I think the best goal that we should have is to at least do it before the next episode. So if we can't hit it on a Saturday, maybe hit it sometime during the week. And talk about that. That gives us more time to sort of digest what we've watched, maybe watch it a couple times, then do the episode.
Read the Easter egg articles.
Maybe
videos on YouTube where people.
It'll give me more time to study the Star Wars book.
What? Where's that? DK?
It's a DK book, exactly.
Is that the new one?
That's the new one that just came out. Yeah, that's the new
Star Wars book.
It's just called the Star Wars book. Yeah, exactly. It's got some good information in it, though. It's got a lot of Strandcast information in it. So I think that's going to wrap us up for tonight, though. I promised my wife I'd be done by 6, so that's what I'm trying to shoot for here. So I really appreciate everybody watching throughout the whole season. Like I said, we're going to do this for season 2, and then we've even got more plans beyond that. I think we're going to do WandaVision. I mean, we're going to keep this going, unless WandaVision really messes us up and comes out. Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. That would mess us up totally.
The fact that they haven't released the release date yet tells me it's probably not November.
I would think that's what I'm guessing too. I think I'm going with my theory. December 18th is what my theory is. So they get their promise in that it's before the end of the year, but it's like, or no, maybe I said December 25th because I think the season finale of chapter right? Is the 18th. So then they would do it like the very next Friday, which is for some reason what Disney Plus does. Releases all their shows on
Christmas. Wow. Christmas
Day, maybe. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. As always, we would love for you guys to subscribe to the channel. Please share it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you can share it on social media, right there. Yeah, there's not one. I don't want to pay for that. You have to pay for that, and I don't care if there's a little duck logo up here in the corner. That doesn't bother me. They can get their little free advertisement with the duck up in the corner.
Oregon. You're an Oregon fan.
That's right. That's exactly right. So yeah, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you know when we're going live.
Wear your mask and social distance.
Yes, continue to wear your mask, continue to social distance, all that fun stuff.
I don't
have my and continue to clean your mask. That's another PSA. Keep your mask clean. Exactly.
Yeah.
So until then, this was a really fun season. Thank you, Moff Rifen, for assisting us this season, and Yoda Punch Earl. Thank you for assisting. And we will be back for The Mandalorian season 2. Next week or the week after sometime. So this was The Way.